Reports of our fainting have been greatly exaggerated. It's Secret Rare, a Pokemon podcast with me, Jordan Midler, Tom Ryan-Smith, and Nathan Ellingsworth. This week, EUIC returns to London. We've got two big sets on the way, but first, welcome back, boys. They tried to keep us down. Tom, how are you?
I'm not too bad. It's lovely to see both your faces again. I've missed you so much.
Yeah. The thing is, we talk all the time. And
Yeah.
then we're really like, let's do it again. Funnily enough, someone in the VGC Discord this week was like, but literally a day after we decided when we were recording, was like, "Is Secret Rare dead?" And I was like, "Oh, not quite, son, not quite." Nathan, how are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Obviously, we made the mistake of saying we'd wait for mainline Pokemon game news, and that was a large contributor. I mean, anything could happen. Anything could happen.
Well, I mean, we do return just before EUIC, and then as soon as sure as night follows day, we will have a Pokemon Presents next week, following week, whenever the 27th is. So we'll have lots to talk about. But leading into that, EUIC, the Pokemon European Championships, are back. They're in London's XL Centre this year in February rather than April. I don't know if I told this on the podcast, but last April, me and my good lady wife went down to London and paid quite a lot of money for the hotel because, you know, it's London, and EUIC, we stayed right next to the XL, so it was very convenient. And then I thought, you know what, I'll get them. So I booked a hotel in London every weekend in April, a year ahead of time.
Oh,
and then,
I remember you doing this. I remember you saying this.
And then the Pokemon company was like, we're going to put it in. We're going to put it in February. So thankfully, I got that news far enough ahead of time that I managed to get quite a decent deal on somewhere in the centre of London. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. The actual event is Friday to Sunday, but the Pokemon Centre, which we'll talk about as well, runs Thursday to Sunday. If this is your first time hearing about the pop-up Pokemon Centre, bad luck. Shan't be attending. Tom, run us through kind of what the weekend is for people that might not understand it, because it's more focused on the actual competitive scene rather than something like Worlds, which is more kind of festival of Pokemon like.
Well, it's about Pokemon, and you watch people play Pokemon. And no, it's a big, huge weekend in the UK. Like, it's wild how we've now had it. Is this the third time in a row EUIC has been in London?
Yep.
Like, the first time I went, it was in Germany, so it's really cool to kind of get this consistency, because even my first Worlds was in the Excel Centre for London. So it's like 4-year trade of just Pokemon every year. Like, I'm so happy about it. But yeah, it's the European Championships for TGC, VGC, Go, Unite. And it's just a whole place where everyone comes together, has the best bloody time, and loves Pokemon, and you get to watch people play it way better than you can ever dream to. And they also can do something that makes them go to Anaheim this year. And be
Anaheim, across the road from Disney. The EUIC, and much like Worlds, when I watch it, I just think that these people are playing a different game from me. I can play the VGC and the TCG to a certain degree, and then you watch it and you're like, this is a different kettle of fish. Nathan, as far as something that it's obviously difficult to get passes, even if you're a spectator or even a player or press or whatever, but is this something you would recommend to all Pokemon people, or do you have to be fairly invested to go for the weekend?
I think, considering the cost and considering how busy it can be, I mean, it's really nice when you're there because you see a lot of competitors that have come from literally all around the world, even when it's just London, even when it's European Championships. Last year, we had Wolfie Glick come over from America. I'm pretty sure he's coming over this year as well. And you see competitors have clearly come over from like China or further afield, and they bring families and all to great expense. And you can see that it's a lovely event to do that. It's a really lovely space. The Pokemon Company really cares about curating a good event, and they always do a very good job. But that being said, Pokemon is just now this gargantuan franchise, and you cannot. There's no safe way. There's no good way to police tickets or anything like that. Safe isn't the word to use there. There's no fair way to police it. So if you want to get a Pokemon Center entry, just good luck. Good luck. It's like Glastonbury. It's like Glastonbury or like Black Sabbath tickets. It's just kind of like, unless you want to go on Ticketmaster, like, it's just a potluck. So I think I would love to be able to say for this event, you know what? Even if you've got a passing interest in Pokemon, you should go down. But I think that's what your locals are for. I think find your local card shop, find some people that like Pokemon, and then get to do that. But I think if you want to do EUIC, I think you need to be a bit of a Pokemon head, because it's starting to cost a bit of money. Even, you know, like you say, book a hotel or like food on the day, and I'm going to be spending some notes at the Pokemon Center myself. Like, there's just no way it's a cheap weekend. But I do it because it's the biggest event in my yearly calendar, pretty much, unless I go to Worlds, and it's going to be so much fun. I love watching competitive Pokemon. I like, you know, I think last year especially made me realize how much I loved watching Unite, way more than I like playing it. Because like it's so quick, it's so reactive, and I love the TCG. I love Scarlet and Violet, but like, you kind of get into the rhythm and you're like, okay, this is happening. And then there's a trick room or whatever. Unite was amazing. Like, I love that thrill of it. So there's something to being in the room. There's something to being part of a huge atmosphere, but ain't cheap. Ain't cheap.
Those crowds for Unite go wild. Like,
the reactions.
You watch TCG
great.
and VGC, yep, they're well into it. But the MOBA crowd, crazy. They are so invested. They're screaming, they're crying. They're way more invested than you think of someone like us who come from just the VGC and Pokemon and TCG side. Having the MOBA there, it's just a complete new crowd, and it's just wild to see how they react to it. I love it.
The watching Unite reminds me of the glorious first couple of weeks of Pokemon Unite, where I was amazing at it right at the start of the game. I'd done absolutely everything you could do when the missions rolled out, and I was as far along in the season pass as you could, and I was playing every day. And then it, as with all things, when you do this professionally, like, it kind of gets away from you. But yeah, it's I think the main issue from that kind of family perspective, and it's associated with the EUIC, but it's also not. The inclusion of the pop-up Pokemon Center, which is, for a lot of people, the reason they are going to this thing. However, when you tie it to EUIC, it causes some of its own issues. So the pop-up Pokemon Center, this is the 4th year they've run it. Was the first pop-up Pokemon Center pre-COVID, the one that they did in central London? I'm trying to remember.
That was pre-COVID.
Yeah, so they did one in central London, and then this is the 4th one they've done in the XL coming up. And every single year it's been hugely successful / a disaster, depending on who you ask. The concept of a real Pokemon Center is something that is still super novel and exciting to a region like the UK, which doesn't have a permanent one. I mean, no one does apart from Asia. So the way they do it is they released slots for booking your time, essentially, and the website to book said slots was a bit of a disaster, despite this having happened last year, to the point where they had to release a statement basically being like, all the slots are gone. Like, it just happened really quick. Is there a realistic way to fix this other than my suggestion? And it ties into, I think it's been in London and will stay in London because TPC are in London. Like, they're half an hour away from the XL, which is also the headquarters of the UK Pokemon Center website. Is there a way to stop this being a total sellout, apart from you do Monday to Sunday? Like, you have it open all week leading up to EUIC, because just having it on the EUIC days, I know they have Thursdays, like an extra day, seems too much. Tom, do you think that's is that a way to fix it, or will that full week just sell out and then it eventually gets like, why don't you just open one in London, which I've been saying for years?
I guess it's tough, isn't it? Because as soon as you have stock in there that's available that people want to scalp, there's no chance. There's just bots that are riddled through it. I don't know what you can do to stop that. And aside from that, I'm excited to see how Nintendo handle it with the Nintendo Switch 2 orders. Because if they do something that's good, maybe that's something that could be brought over into how they handle the Pokemon Center. But right now, I think they did something really good, and I think it's clever. And you reported on it first, Jordan, was no prismatic evolutions. That is a great shout, which I think came out after the bookings opened. Which
that was the problem.
Should have been the other way around. Like, that was smart. That was a really good step towards stopping people coming in and scalping things. And also, I think this year, the exclusive merch, as much as it's banging, there's no plush, there's nothing like that. There's nothing you go, oh my God, I'm going to sell that for £1,000 outside. That's not happening. So I think the steps are right. they just announce things in the wrong order because people are going to come. Pokemon fans are going to come, but if you can stop the incentive for the worst people in the world to go, then do that. Like, and then you can open a Pokemon Center in London.
Yeah. I also think they face an issue of this weekend there will be thousands of parents that notice that the Pokemon Center is in London and go, "Oh, that'd be cool. I'll bring it." But there's no walk-ups. There's nothing like that.
I had that issue the other day. Like, I was in London talking to my cousins, and I said, "Oh, I'm coming back down in London in a few weeks for Pokemon. There's gonna be a Pokemon Center." And the kids were like, "Oh, can we go? Can we go? Can we go?" I was like, "No,
no." You can't, I'm afraid. Nathan, obviously we have a lot of experience. This is an issue that happens in tickets with gigs and stuff like that, and there still seems to be no great way to beat the bots other than make there so much availability that the demand isn't there. Would a week-long Pokemon Center help it, or does it just have to be a case of either a permanent location, so the magic is kind of gone, or they divorce it from being tied to EUIC?
I think a permanent Pokemon Center is a lovely idea, but even then, when you get down to EUIC, you're going to have the yearly merch. You're going to have something which people are going to want to scalp. I think one of the best options they could do is something that a few bands and stuff do, or certain festivals do, is where you have a pre-sale. And I think whether you tie that to an existing Nintendo Switch Online account, a Pokemon Trainer Club account, and you go, okay, you've got an active account, you will get a specific code that you can use for a pre-sale 2 days before it all goes live to the public. Maybe something like that, but even then I know it becomes so difficult and people will just sign up for these accounts. But I think just something that like helps to make sure that fans see it first, or the people that care see it first, because you're right, at the moment it's too easy to scalp. Other than that, one all the way around the year would be amazing. I think there's so many spots in London you could do it. Knock down one vape shop. One. Like
one knockoff Harry Potter shop that's called like the Magic of Wizards. Like,
but I do think the issue for the Pokemon Company isn't rent. I think it is, as you say, how special it is that these Pokemon centers are like they consider them like a little mini Disneyland. These little things, they treat them really, really well. They have big opening ceremonies. They're very specific to the region as well. Like the Pokemon they choose to have in these shops are very specific. They will go like, this works with this region, or wherever. Like it's not just a slap a Pikachu on it. So they would have to think of something that works. They would have to have like a story. It's as much as we all go, just open one, I don't think a Japanese company is very eager to do that at the moment. Maybe they will in the future.
I still think our best hope is a split Nintendo Store Pokemon Center in the same location. Like obviously they have Nintendo NYC, which is a huge tourist spot. That has like a little bit of Pokemon stuff, which is sacrilegious because it sits on the bones of the New York Pokemon Center, God rest it. But I think that's probably the way they would do it. There's also, like, you can't deny there is a tourism element about Japan where when people go to Japan from around the world, they're like, oh my god, I can go to one of a billion Pokemon centers. Like, that's something very unique to that region. But I think that we're in a very fortunate position where like we're getting to the Pokemon Center through work, but I know people that tried and failed, and the people that you would assume that have gone to previous Pokemon Centers, they just couldn't this year. And I think that I saw a lot of competitors being like, I'm going to be there for EUIC, but I can't get to the center. Like, that's
wild.
I feel like there really has to be some way where, they go and pick up their competitor packs and stuff like that. There has to be a thing in there.
Let's have a slot.
You can a random slot or redeem it or something like that. Obviously, that opens up to issues because, like, if you've never been to EUIC, it's in the XL, so in the middle there's like a food court kind of area, and people like set up their cards and they're selling stuff, and as soon as the registration opens, players who, and I don't blame them for this because this is a very expensive thing to kind of keep up as a hobby, they'll get their player pack and sell it to one of the the people in the middle to make a bit of their money back.
It does make sense. Like, you talk to some of the players, that card, especially the Worlds promos, that pays for their next trip. That pays for their next Worlds or their next EUIC. You can't blame them for doing it when they're doing it for a cause that keeps them in the hobby. They're not scalping it for scalping its sake. They're literally going, I need this, and it's getting me here again.
I tend to think that's why Pokemon don't go mental about it, because it's not subtle. Like there's people with like 10 bags sitting around them. It's like we didn't see this, so it doesn't matter kind of thing.
Also, like on the Pokemon Center thing, you look at, is it Trafalgar Square in London where you have the M&M store and things like that?
Leicester Square,
Leicester Square. I'm not a Londoner, but like put a Pokemon Center there, put a, like a Lego store. It's just gonna bang 24/7, 100 days, 365 days, 100 days a year.
It's only going to bang 100 days of the year.
But that would bang just by default from being in the most touristy spot. I'd hate it. I don't want it there. But if they're going to do it, that is the prime position.
That's where it goes.
Yeah, that would make money.
Yeah, I think the weekend will be good regardless, as we mentioned. In terms of things we're trying to pick up, as broken exclusively by VGC, the website, not the Video Game Championships, which is confusing when you're covering Pokemon. But there'll be no Prismatic Evolutions, which this happened in the height of like Prismatic Evolutions booster Elite Trainer box madness. At least in the UK, Prismatic Evolutions availability has shot right up. Like I can go to multiple shops right now and get poster boxes and get mini tins without any problem, in Scotland at least. If you're listening to this in Scotland, don't do that, they're mine. But I think this was a really smart decision so that we don't see the ridiculous scenes that we saw for like Blooming Waters and for the Prismatic launches. Obviously they could have handled that by just letting a couple of people through at a time, or just do a system where, I remember watching a vlog from the Honolulu world, you can probably verify this, Tom, where if you wanted the skateboard, you just got given like a token, like while you were in
and that was also for the deck as well. You can't see it's hidden behind my new Temporal Forces standee, which I now have.
Everyone's favorite thing, Tempura Forces.
But yeah, the Yokohama Pikachu deck, like you kind of went in, I think you had the choice of one pass for one item that was a mega item. So I was like, I want the deck. Like I have that skateboard. I'm happy with that skateboard. I love it. But yeah, that was a good system. But I think in the UK, manners aren't as good as Japan.
Yeah.
like you can have as much security as you want on that door, and it's a children's card game event full of adults. But you know, they're just going to fly through there. They're just going to grab them. They're going to be horrible people. It'll just be like in Costco in America. It won't go well. Like the best choice was just not having it.
Yeah, I suppose if you were going to do like a behind the desk kind of thing where people couldn't just rush and grab it, then the problem would be everyone would shoot for those. They've already done it. Shoot for those early 9 a.m. slots on Thursday and Friday.
Yeah.
And you couldn't really legislate for having enough ETBs where everyone got one. I wonder if they'll have any at the prize wall, because if you're not familiar, you can play little side games if you're not competing to get points, and you redeem these points at a prize wall. I wouldn't be surprised if they've got a couple of ETBs
That'd be
there.
so funny watching all these scalpers try and play it to try and get it.
Yes, please.
Is there anything you're looking to pick up, Nathan? For me, it's that Psyduck sweatshirt. I need that. If I get that, I'm a happy man.
Literally, what this the main thing I want is that bright yellow Psyduck sweatshirt that says 2025. I like the Psyduck playmat as well, and the water bottle, but I'm not too fussed about that. I like a lot of the Ogerpon stuff as well. Yeah, you're right. There's not that like cool of a plush this year or anything. Whereas, to be fair, last year the plush went immediately. It was the first thing that went. But I don't know. I think I'll probably get myself a nice little deck box or something as well. But I'm super happy that the merch this year is all about Psyduck. He's one of my fave boys.
Yeah, it was a good choice. Like they had they usually do a mascot Pokemon, then a couple of favorites around it. Like last year, the sweatshirt had Gengar on it, which was like obviously a big favorite this year. Gengar wasn't the.
No, it was Ceruledge.
It was Armarouge and Ceruledge last year. Yeah.
Which obviously, if you tell me that your favorite Pokemons are Armarouge and Ceruledge, I simply won't believe you.
It's the one Pokemon backpack that I actually use.
I've got that.
If you do backpacks this year, it will be Ogerpon, presumably.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah.
But obviously they have Psyduck is like a side kind of the banker Pokemon, the ones you can put on anything and you'll be happy enough. I think, is that Psyduck? It might be the playmat have Quagsire and Clodsire on it as well. I think there's like there's a piece of merch that has Psyduck and those as well.
I love Clodsire.
Yeah. So deal that if we do any UIC any content for Secret Rare, we're all wearing the Psyduck jumper.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, if we can do that, yeah.
no one will be able to tell who's who. It'll be like,
I
oh,
know.
where's that voice coming from?
Like, I understand if like you and Nathan, you two look very similar, but
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
like me and Nathan look nothing alike.
Double for Nathans. What we should do is we should say to our good friends at the Pokemon Company, what if you just shut the Pokemon Center in the middle of the day and we can record a podcast live from the middle of the Pokemon Center while people are crashing on the walls?
What we should have done is got bots and scalped like an entire day's worth of Pokemon Center for just us three.
He who shall not be named is walking by going, it's quiet. It's not for quiet. It's just...
To be fair, we still could do it.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it'd be
we have an hour slot.
Well, true. If I go back to my work and I say, oh, what content did you get? Well, I recorded a full podcast, not for this website. But yeah, I'm very excited. I think it'll be a good event. Why do you think, Nathan, I'll ask you first, why do you think they've moved it to February, and why do you think they've moved it a week before Pokemon Day? Is there a reason for that?
I was trying to think this as well. I think it might be because it's before Pokemon Day, because they've done it before where they've teased things on the last day, like whether it be Pokemon Go announcements of like new season. It's right before the next season of Pokemon Go as well. Dual Destinies has only got 2 weeks left.
Thank God, because I hate Gen 5 Pokemon so badly. I can't wait until they're gone.
Bad take. Oh, I'm gearing up
Good
for
shout,
the Unova
Jordan.
tour.
Good shout,
I can't
Jordan.
wait. I do genuinely think it might be a bit of a coordination to build hype before Pokemon Day. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see something on Sunday, whether it be like an announcement of the Pokemon Day Direct, which
I could see
potentially, yeah.
Depending on when the
Really?
when the 27th falls, though generally they do it the day before. Other than that, it might just be to stop it coinciding with some of the other events. Like they've got the Pokemon Go City tours, which take up a lot of the summer. And I think maybe people have complained about a UAC taking place at the same time as some of this. I think specifically last year, there was a Pokemon Go event happening during a UIC, and people were like, well, the XL's got no Wi-Fi, so brilliant. So I don't know how much Go would inform it, or even other tournaments or things like that. And it might just be that the way that the brackets line up as well, it just works best for what they want to do for Worlds. Have they moved Worlds earlier in the year? Because I do think one of the reasons they're moving things a little bit earlier is so less stuff happens bang in the middle of summer because of problems with heat.
But Worlds is like second week of August, I believe, and
that'll be hot.
That'll be toasty in Anaheim.
It could just be something super boring as availability for the Excel Center.
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, maybe.
I'm sorry.
No. I just think because obviously it's this weekend, and then the 26th is the Wednesday, and the 27th is the Thursday. So I presume.
Although when does Journey Together drop?
It is the last weekend, or 10th of March, or the last week in March, or something like that.
Because maybe they could be tying it for the release, for the announcement of the next TCG set, which is heavily leaked over today.
Oh yeah,
I wonder what that is.
It's interesting though, because like we'll move on to that there. The next set, which is the long rumored Glory of Team Rocket equivalent that we're getting, Destined Rivals. There was a weird back and forth here, because when it was originally announced that it was going to be Destined Rivals, people were like, oh, are they backing off of the Rocket stuff? Maybe Team Rocket isn't as big a hitter, because I kind of expected the title to have Team Rocket in the name. But now the pack artwork has leaked via Gamescom Latam, which is
how does that happen?
It's quite incredible that this has happened. The pack artwork shows Giovanni and Mewtwo.
Oh my god! A special illustration: Giovanni's Mewtwo EX.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh my god! Oh my god!
They've gone half and half with it, because the other two are Cynthia and Garchomp and Ethan and Ho. So it's like
beautiful.
That Ethan Ho, it looks ridiculous. Like it's such a beautiful piece. Let me tell you something. If this is like a mix of a Rocket set and a Heart Gold Soul Silver set, oh my god, I will be master setting this.
Oh my god,
without a doubt. We're in a real banger era. I think Journey Together is going to get completely forgotten about. I think coming between Prismatic and a Rocket set, I think it's going to be one of these where it's like, it has some lovely cards. We've already seen a lot of lovely cards. The Lily's really nice. A lot of nice Iono and Belly Bolt.
Yeah.
But I bet you that's a set that you can pick up on TikTok shop for 90 quid for a booster box, and then
I
in
don't
6
know.
months time.
The only thing I'd argue against you that is it has the box topper Reshiram.
Isn't that just in the US though? I don't think that's coming to the UK.
It is. It was on Pokemon Center. You could get it on the Pokemon Center, the box topper version. Like I pre-ordered it with the mentality like I'll cancel it if they become normal in the UK. But yeah, the rollout of that seems confusing. But I think those booster boxes with that card will be the ones that are.
Yeah,
they'll be big.
I do think this is going to be the problem of Shrouded Fable, Obsidian Flames, whatever, where like they're just bringing them out so frequently that people aren't even having the time to enjoy the set and go, oh, do you know what? I do like these cards. The last couple of weeks, I've seen so many people talking about Shrouded Fable because they've tried to get prismatic evolutions and they can. So they've obviously gone, what can I buy? So, you know, the price of that Secret Illustration Rare Persian has shot up and people are going,
I saw that.
Do you know what? Shrouded Fable's not a bad set. And it's like, if we had it for more than a week, you know,
Shrouded Fable was out for 45 minutes before Stellar Crown came out.
I've been using an app called Collector with an R at the end, not an E. There's no E in it.
And
no sponsor. But like, I've put all my cards in it and I can track their value. Like, it's a really like I did it because I like having to track what I own because it's just interesting to me. It's like this is what I have. And over the last 3 months, in the last 90 days, my cards have gone up over £2,000. And it's like, I don't think it's a Shrouded Fable thing. This is just down to the whole
it's the market.
Crazy market that's going on now.
We're coming back up. As I said, when we were in the dead zone, we are on the way back up, as evidenced by the fact that remember when the Van Gogh Pikachus came to the Pokemon Center and they're like, oh yeah, this is fine, this will kill all the craziness. They're creeping right back up. They're like €250. Like it's
madness.
It's ridiculous. Again. Madness. So I think that the Destined Rivals will obviously be one of these sets where it's like, oh my god, the chase cards are going to be ridiculous. And I think it's one of the last big sets we get before we start talking about like ZA sets, which I think is going to be a really interesting wrinkle to that as well, because you presume so Switch 2 has been announced. Wait, if you've just woken up from a coma, the Switch 2 has been announced. In April, on April the 4th, they're going to do a direct. Now, I fully assume that we'll see more ZA at the Pokemon Day, and then they'll leave it for Nintendo Direct to say, and it's also coming to Switch 2. Maybe they rerun the same trailer. As soon as the gun has been fired on that, we can start the countdown for when those pack artworks and card art starts coming out from China, because that is going to be the Christmas set, you assume, if that game's in like October or something.
Secret Illustration Rare new Mega Pokemon.
Yeah. I guarantee you they don't make the same mistake they did with Origin Form Dialga and Palkia, and they save that for the second set, because those Pokemon leaked while I was reviewing Pokemon Legends. And so many people were like, that's got to be fake, that looks ridiculous. And I was like,
nobody thought they were real. God, I forgot about that.
I forgot about that. I was reviewing it as well at the same time and being like,
that was Astral Radiance. It was the packs for that, and people were like, nah, that can't possibly be true. So I bet they save because the first megas you'll get are like the Kanto megas and stuff like that. You'll get really nice cards of those. They obviously have to reintroduce the mega mechanic into the game. Do we think that there'll presumably be a crossover when terrestrialization and megas are together?
Well, I don't think so, because Ross, I was watching a PTCG radio video with Ross on it, and he pointed out there are no Terra Pokemon in Journey Together, and it seems like there's not any in the set afterwards.
Cycling it out.
Yeah, it seems like we've just reached the end of Terra Pokemon in the TCG. Which, to be fair, they rotate gimmicks out yearly basis. Like, Terra's done. If we've got trainers Pokemon, might just replace in Terra.
Trainers Pokemon's an easy stopgap, because it's like that doesn't actually impact it impacts the game somewhat, I tell you why, but it's not something that's tied to like the current video game gimmick. I wonder if they do Mega Pokemon for a couple of sets, and then we're in Gen 10 territory. We need to find out what that's going to be about. Like, We, I mean,
imagine if they bring back level X cards.
The really close up.
No,
pictures
because it's Gen 10.
Oh well, yeah.
I think Gen 10 is 2026 very, very easily. And not only that, I think it's later in the year. So I think we've probably got at least a calendar year of Legends EA, unless we get something like the black and white remakes that have been talked about, like, as you know, perhaps ICLA have been working on something, or maybe do you know what? Talking about Pokemon Go, like Pokemon Go had a special set. Maybe we get a TCG Pocket special set. You know, like anything's possible. Well, no, but there's loads of unique cards to TCG Pocket. It would be weird. It'd be very weird. But I'm sure some people would love to get some of the TCG Pocket cards.
Yeah,
like,
I agree with that. Getting
can
some
do
of those
anything.
immersive rares. Is that what they're called? I can't remember the names. The immersive cards.
Yeah.
Like getting those artworks on cards. That'd be awesome.
Especially now that there's a Charizard coming up in a box that has like the lenticular effect that they only did once.
I saw that.
So they can maybe do something with
but
that.
It's only a jumbo, isn't it?
I think it's the lenticular only on the jumbo. Maybe they can only print it on.
Yeah, it's only the jumbo.
That's a bit of a shame. I thought
still
that
cool
would be
though.
Standard.
Yeah.
It is cool. But yeah, I think Pokemon Go was a set that was lovely in theory, but then when it was the only thing like stocking shelves, I'm not opening another pack of Pokemon Go.
I remember being so excited for that Dragonite Pokeball. It's like you just walk anyway. It's like, oh, there it is.
Yeah, £50 for cards you already have. I mean, if this all goes as we kind of predict, and
when is it ever?
Well, sure. 25th anniversary Neo set's coming out any day now. The Pokemon Direct we know is happening next week because it's already come out via Go. I'll start with you, Tom, and then I'll go to Nathan. 100% a ZA trailer.
Yeah.
How much percent a big-ish tease for Gen 10?
No, I don't see so. Like, I think that's a later in the year thing. That's down the line. I think we'll just get. Wait. When did the trailer for Scarlet and Violet drop? Because that got
the same one. They teased Scarlet and Violet at the same one they did Arceus, I think.
Was it the same one? Because that would have had the ICLA. No, Nathan's shaking his head because that's really confusing.
2022 was when we got the Scarlet and Violet trailer. It's when we also got Detective Pikachu, or something like that. Maybe it wasn't, but anyway. But 2021 was when we got Brilliant Diamond, Shining Pearl, and we got Legends Arceus.
Yeah, because we got those two together. Yeah,
in the space of like 18 months, we got those 3 games.
So yeah, like we definitely got a chance of something like BDSP again being announced that we don't know about or has been rumored. But yeah, no, I think we're just gonna get ZA, like a big blow up on ZA, and I'm very excited for that.
I'm gonna sprinkle a little something. There's conversations about a new Pokken, so I could maybe see that.
Pokken is now out of rotation in the actual competitive, so yeah, it'd be nice to have something back like that.
That game sold well. It consistently sold well all the way from the Wii U to the Switch.
I'd want it on Switch too, though, and
it would be it's a Switch 2 game. Presumably.
It was also
so it wouldn't get revealed.
It was also arcade first. And I think that was part of its success in Japan and why they eventually were like, cool, we definitely deport this. Obviously, it's made by the Tekken studio. But I think we would have heard something about an arcade version as well. But I don't know. Maybe it's big enough to do console first now.
A conspiracy theory. What if we finally get something news about the Netflix live action show?
I think you're more likely to get like Concierge 2 or Ardman before you hear any of that.
Hold on, Detective Pikachu 2. I would take that.
Ryan Reynolds a bit busy, unfortunately. I don't think the Pokemon company will be sullying themselves with him for a while. Nathan, your percentage on anything Gen 10 related?
No,
nothing. Not a jot.
I would love to see it, but I don't think they market more than one mainline game at once, and they consider the Legends mainline games. They waited until Arceus's media cycle was done and dusted until they went ahead with Gen 10. I mean, maybe it was a bit soon afterwards, but still, the games were out. And I don't think Legends EA is summer. I think it's holiday, because Pokemon games come out of the holiday. So no, for me, I don't think they get in the way of Legends EA marketing. But I do think we see some sort of side game, whether it's a new mystery dungeon, whether it's a new Pokken. I think we get something as well. But no, I don't think we touch Gen 10 until we get to the 30th anniversary.
Right. So what if one of the side games they're working on, due for release on February 27th, 2026, is another Kanto remake?
I'd take it.
I'd take it. Another Kanto remake, because that's where the money is.
We've not had.
I convinced they're going to reprint base set. Like, it's all going to happen again.
Unless it's Pokemon Red and Blue HD 2D, I'm not interested.
That's what I want so badly, man.
If they sell them on like the Virtual Console again, and they make another big fanfare, I'll be so annoyed.
Only on Switch though, not on Switch 2.
You had me with the 3DS. You had me with the 3DS because it was the first time they'd done it, and you could get them digitally, and you had the faceplates and stuff. You can't get me with that again. And also,
I will say, add it to the Game Boy experience thing on the on Nintendo Switch Online. They might find they had Pokemon Red, Blue, and Yellow on Pokemon Day.
I do also think as well, one thing they can contend with nowadays, which they didn't have to worry about so much 10 years ago, is obviously the 3DS was very readily available and people had them and whatever, and people have the Switch now. But also we're in a very different handheld market in terms of if you want to be really, really, really naughty and do horrible illegal things, you can get something like an Ambernic RG35XXH, you can get something like a Trim UI brick, you can get all of these devices from various awful places, which we don't encourage, but I do think that they're so I think they're so prolific now. I think they're so easy to get that it's much more difficult now to do what you did with the 3DS and be like, cool, tenner. Like, I don't know these are the most valuable ROMs in the world, but I think a collection we'd need. I think we'd need like a Mega Man like a Mega Man collection. Yeah, put it on a cart. Do the first Game Boy ones or the Game Boy Color ones, and then a year down the line, sell me the GBA ones.
A Super Mario 3D All Stars.
Yes, something like that.
Nintendo did for that and only sell it for a year.
Yeah, I think something like that they can do this time.
Do that.
Oh my god! And also, have the first Switch carts that have got a different color.
Yeah. The thing is, I would buy these day one. I'd play to like Erica and go, that's fine. I've played 200 times at this point, and like, I don't need to do it again.
I just get to Viridian Forest and go, I don't want to grind for Brock.
Yeah. But before we hit the road, Tom, I believe you have a mysterious game for us.
We have a
game. We're in Tom's Game Corner.
Yeah, why not treat ourselves to Tom's Game? I got my iPad.
Oh, here it is.
Oh.
So I call this game rather inspired. Who's that Pokemon?
Who's that Pokemon?
Sponsored by Cerebi.net.
Thank you.
I've heard of them.
Because that's what I used for the things.
Great people.
So what this game is I'm going to read out to you a Pokedex entry from from Pokemon X, actually. It's going to be that. And if you get it right, you get 3 points.
God, I feel like I'm doing Joe's fucking crossword all over again.
The only reason it's X, Y, Omega Ruby, and Alpha Sapphire. Okay. Because they're the other 3 that he seems to list the Pokedex entries for on Cerebi.net. So
national decks or local decks?
So it's just
that's narrowing it down.
So I'm starting this with just Kanto.
Okay.
For clarity. But I'm going to offer you 3 Pokedex entries for each. But if you decide to go to the next one, it's 2 points. And if it goes to one after that, it's just 1 point. So you kind of have to decide between you both if you want to do that. But only one of you can get all the points.
Okay.
And there are 6 Pokemon. You're working against each other.
We're working against each other. And are we taking it in turns?
No.
Are we buzzing in?
Yeah.
Or are we shouting?
Shouting. But you kind of like, if you don't get it, you got to work. Kind of got to go, do we just go for lower points now? That kind of vibe.
Okay. All right.
So I'm going to start you off. And some of these entries do say the Pokemon's name. So I'm going to have to edit myself as I speak. And that's... There's a risk.
Say Tom.
Up to you.
So we'll start off probably the easiest one we'll ever do. So guys, are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
This one is about me.
Okay.
It is virtually worthless in terms of both power and speed. It is the most weak and pathetic Pokemon in the world.
Magikarp.
There we go. Nathan gets Magikarp. And Nathan gets 3 points because you didn't go to the next one.
I respect Magikarp too much to suggest that.
It's rude, right?
I love Magikarp, yeah.
I showed that to my girlfriend and she was like, that's horrific. That's so mean. Okay, let's go to... Okay. In battle, it digs... What was that?
Diglett! Is it?
What happened? How did you...
I just went to myself, have it. And in that moment, Jordan... Doesn't matter.
3 points, please.
All right. I think you can have that. That's fair.
What if I tell you you're wrong?
That's what I get for
don't
gloating.
believe you.
He's not wrong.
Because you are wrong. It's not Diglett.
Dog Trio!
Yay!
Oh, God.
Okay.
That's not 3 points. That's 2 points. Thank you.
How? You didn't
What?
read the second clue. You just told me I was wrong.
I surely if you can't just guess loads of different Pokemon as well.
Well, no, I just...
Should we do?
I'm just going to do the poker rap.
Would you say one guess per
No.
clue? Do you think that's fair?
No, have your
I
3
think
points. Have your 3 points.
This is the pressure is added here because my back teeth are absolutely swimming, so I need to win this.
Okay, so you're on 3-all now. It raises its tail to check its surroundings. The tail is sometimes struck by lightning in this pose.
Raichu.
No.
Luxury?
No. Do you want to go to the next one?
Yeah, let's do that.
No, it's gone to 2 points. It has small electric sacs on both its cheeks. If threatened, it loses electric. There we go.
Yeah. I should have said Pikachu to begin with.
I'm shocked you went for Raichu.
Something about the tail going up. I don't know. Raichu's got a longer tail. Also, because you did a tricky Diglett Dog Trio thing, I thought you were going to try and catch us.
I was only going to do it once. Don't you worry.
All right.
I'm not that mean. Okay, the next one. Also, Jordan 3, Nathan 5.
All right.
This one again is about me. As a newborn, it can barely stand. However, through galloping, its legs are made tougher and fast. Yes.
Damn. Good on you.
Jordan's on 6.
I heard Americans pronounce that Ponita.
Yeah,
it's
somewhat
like,
stupid.
What?
Americans, see if you actually see like a smaller horse, you call it a pony. It's a pony, so it's Ponita. Anyway, in America.
Ponita. Let's be ill.
This one again is about me.
All right.
Its body is made of gas. Despite
Ghastly.
Coughing.
It's ghastly.
Damn it.
Okay, Jordan 9, Nathan 5.
What turn around?
That could have been either or.
I mean, coughing exudes the gas.
Oh, all right. Whose side are you on?
I'm on nobody's side. I'm on the side of chaos.
How many of these do we have? How far?
This is the final one, and
I can't win.
You can't win, Nathan, but we'll let you try for.
I will let you double the points if you want to make this interesting.
Do it. Let's do it.
Right,
Double points for the final one.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Okay. This one. Okay, I'm intrigued to know how this goes. When it uses psychic power, it emits a strong alpha waves that can ruin precision devices.
Alakazam?
No.
Drowsy.
Magnemite?
No.
Hypno?
No. Okay, I'm going to go to the next one now because that's too many guesses. I'm going to go to the next one now. If it uses its abilities, it emits special alpha waves that cause machines to malfunction. And also, Nathan, I'd say that last one again.
Kadabra!
Kadabra! I said it! Kadabra!
I realised I said I was moving on already.
Give him that.
Yeah.
Whatever. I was like, it is definitely this.
So yeah,
Uri Geller's favorite Pokemon.
Yeah.
So
live version of that
the score is Jordan 9, Nathan 11.
Great.
If you hadn't laughed at that, we would have been fine.
Oh. Right, boys, get your packed up, and we'll head on to EUIC. We will be back with whatever nonsense we get filmed at EUIC on the Secret Lair YouTube channel. It's Tom's sprinkle, and you know it's time to go home. Where can we find you, Tom?
Sorry, I was just opening my little new bag of dice for the tradition.
Yeah.
You can find me as Monkey Nuke, but also now as Nuke Pop, as my little pop culture Pokemon gaming account that I've got going. So follow that.
Nice branding, I must say.
It was nice. I was proud of that. I made it in like an hour.
don't tell people that.
I'm good at stuff. Hire me.
You can find me on Twitter at Nathan Destroy, or you can find me on Instagram at nate.bit. Or even on the Sky of Blues is just Nathan Ellingsworth.
I'm across the internet as Jordan Midler, starring as Jordan Midler, then, now, and forever. Until we are back, I can't wait to see you boys soon. Say goodbye, Tom.
Bye.
Say goodbye, Nathan.
Goodbye.
We'll see you next time. Tom, take us home.
I forgot that I'm editing these now, so
enjoy that.
Yeah, well done.
See you later, folks.
Bye.
Bye.